Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Marina. I'm from Oregon, and today we're going to be installing a vehicle-specific wiring harness on this Chevy Cruze. If you're towing a trailer, you are required by law to have trailer lighting, so we're going to install that so that we can tow trailers with this vehicle. We do have 3 attachment points with this circuit. One's behind the driver's side taillight, one's behind the passenger side, and one is at the battery. And we're fortunate enough that the battery on this vehicle is in the trunk, which saves us the trouble of running a power wire all the way to the front of the vehicle. So this shouldn't be too bad. Let's get started.
You will need the tools seen here to complete this installation.
So to access our attachment points, we're going to have to remove a few panels here. We're going to start with the floor panel, which just has a hand loop. Just comes right out nice and easy. We're going to remove our spare tire. Going to remove our jack and these 2 foam panels here as well. So you can see we have the battery right here, nice and easy to access. It'll be really easy once we're completing this circuit. We still have a couple more panels to remove. This side panel here just pulls right out, and same on the passenger side as well. We're going to start on the driver's side. We're going to need a flathead, a T15 Torx, and a trim removal tool. We're going to use the flathead first to remove these little covers here to access our Torx bits. They stay connected so we don't lose them. Then we'll use our T15 to remove these fasteners here. We're going to use our trim removal tool just to wedge in here between the paint. Just kind of get that loose and pull it right out. You can see the wire right there. So now that we have our tail light out, you'll see there is a little red clip here, and we're just going to pop that up. And inside there is a little clip that we're going to press out of the way to release the tension, and then we can unplug that connector. And we can just put the taillight to the side for now. So we're going to do this exact same thing on the passenger side. Pop both of these covers out so that we can access our Torx bits. And use our T15 to remove these fasteners. Okay, and then we're going to use our trim removal tool. Just tuck it between the tail light and the body there, and just wiggle that tail light out. You'll see we have pretty much the same wire as before, and the same red clip, so we're just going to do exactly what we did before on this side with our flathead. This piece slides out, which gives us just a little bit better access to that wire. And we'll just pop that red clip up and get in there just like we did before to lift that little tab and release the tension on that connector for easy removal. Okay, for the next step, we have one more panel to remove. It's just this lower door panel here. We have one wire that's going to plug into the driver's side taillight and one that's going to plug into the passenger, but we need somewhere to hide that wire so that our compartment in the trunk stays all nice and tidy. So we're just going to pop this panel off. There are 4 little plastic connectors in there. As you can see, all 4, and we're just going to slightly move it out of the way just to give us enough room to run that wire through. There's a grommet here, and we're just going to use a flathead just to push that grommet back inside so that we have some room to run our wire from the interior of the card out to the exterior. Yellow, red, and brown wire is going to be our driver's side wire, and we're just going to put the ground with it. We're going to send this whole wire all the way through and move it through that grommet that we removed in the taillight housing there. Just move every connector and the ground terminal through. And I'm going to wait until we get our ground drilled to reinstall that grommet. But since we're here, we can already plug in. This was our original taillight housing wiring connector, and we can just plug that right into this piece here and slide that red clip back into place so it holds it securely. This one is what we're going to plug back into the taillight once we're ready to do that. But first we're going to drill a spot for this ground so that that can complete the circuit. So for our next step, we're going to use this self-tapping screw to secure our ground, just using our electric drill here. This white wire is the ground wire. It's already got an eyelet on it, and we're just going to screw into this flat part here. We've already checked on the other side that we're not going to damage anything. Make sure that's nice and secure. You don't want to loose ground. That can run into some electrical problems. Perfect. That's nice and tight. And now we can pull our grommet back into position. So we have this seal and we don't have any water issues. And this part we'll plug in when we're ready to put the taillight on, but first we're gonna run the wire over to the passenger side. So now we're gonna take our green wire and place it behind this interior panel. And I'm gonna run it back through here and just grab it on the other side so that we can run it along the rearmost part of the vehicle. It may be helpful to pull this out just a little bit, but that gives us plenty of room there. So now you can see I've got my wire. Just gonna relieve some of that slack there. And we're just going to gently place it below and inside this interior panel compartment and run it through the foam panel on this side, just like we did on the driver's side. Perfect. So we're already through our panel here. And now we're ready to pop this grommet out of place and run the wire to the exterior of the vehicle. I'm going to use the flathead again. Just push that grommet through to the interior. Grab our connectors. And we can plug this in just so we keep everything connected. Make sure it's nice and tight, and then push that red clip in so it keeps it secure. And then we can pull the grommet back through. Just gently to get that lip over and create that seal. And this will be what we plug into the taillight when we're ready to put it back on. So now we're going to connect this red wire to our positive terminal on the battery. So we just flip up this cover. I'm going to disconnect just this bolt here, and we'll just use that to secure the wire in place. Just be careful not to touch both of these terminals because we still have a live circuit on that battery and you don't want to get zapped.
You just call out the socket you're using.
I'm using a 10mm socket to remove this bolt. And now we're going to route this wire. Get the packaging off. And since all of this is covered with one of the panels that we removed earlier, all we have to do is put it through this compartment here, bring it down. I'm going to lift up just a little bit there. Pull it through. Once we have our wire pulled through, we'll just place it right here on the positive terminal and reinstall this screw here. I'm going to place it on the bottom so it has more contact with that connector. Make sure it goes through both of them. It may be a tight fit through this wire, so just start by hand, place this in place, and then use your 10mm again to tighten that bolt down. Perfect. Now this converter box, we're just going to tuck back into this panel here. And then your 4-flat connector is just going to live behind this compartment. So when you're ready to tow, you'll just pull it out from this compartment. And now we're ready to reinstall the taillights. So we have our passenger side taillight we're going to reinstall using the same connector we disconnected before. And now we're plugging it into the circuit that we've just installed. Oh, goes that way. It only fits one way, so there's not going to be a wrong way to do it. Once you hear that little click, you'll just go ahead and push that red clip in so we're nice and secure on that fit. We have this little clip here that we're going to reconnect right here so it's not banging around in your taillight housing. We'll slide it right back into place, make sure that this pin here is going into this hole, and go ahead and slide it in carefully. And we'll use the same hardware we removed previously with our T15 Torx bit and tighten that back down. It's good and snug, and these just pop right back in nice and easy. Just make sure this little connector fits into place there. There we go. Perfect, and we'll do the same on the driver's side. We have our driver's side tail light. We're going to connect these two pieces here, just like we did before. Hear that click, push the red clip in. And now you can reinstall the tail light. Just watch out for that little pin there that needs to go into that grommet. And use your T15 Torx bit to reinstall the hardware. Perfect. So just push these little plastic covers back on. Excellent. Now that our taillights are all reconnected and fully secured, we have a 10-amp fuse that we're going to put into this fuse holder here. Just simply insert it. Make sure it's in all the way. Put the cover on. And tuck it away nice and tidy there. And now we're ready to reinstall all of our interior panels. We're going to start with this lower panel that we took out. Just make sure you're staying clear of that door latch there. You'll hear those connectors pop back into place. Perfect. And move the door seal so that it covers the edge of that panel. You can use a trim removal tool. I find that it's just easier to use your hands so you don't tear the rubber. Next is our foam pieces, which in case you forgot are labeled the left-hand side and the right-hand side. So just place those into the bottom. Get your roadside kit on top of that screw there. Reinstall your spare tire. Reinstall the floor panel. And lastly is just these two side panels here. Just fold that foam back into place. And this will be the panel that you'll use when you want to access your trailer wiring. So when you're ready for towing, all you have to do is just remove this panel from the grip point here. Simply pull out your 4-flat and you'll close it in the door seal here. And you'll be ready for towing your trailer. It's perfectly fine to close the wiring in the door like this. You'll notice there's not a single mark there where the door seal contacted the wiring. And when you're all done with your towing, simply just wrap it up, replace it into that compartment there. Put your cover back on. Thank you so much for watching our wiring installation on this Chevy Cruze.
To learn more about the products seen in this video, or to schedule an installation by U-Haul Hitch Professional, visit us online today at uhaulhitches.com.